The second communicating or add-on skill is asking questions. We all ask questions every day of our lives, so we must be good at it, right? Well, not necessarily. You see, asking good questions is a skill that you have to learn and practice a lot in order to use it most effectively. And the way to judge the quality of a question is by the usefulness of the answer you get. In asking questions, there are 3 techniques you should use. First, you'll learn how to ask questions using the 5WH method. This means asking who, what, when, where, why, and how about any circumstances. For example, you'll ask an inmate, who were you with? Where were you? When did this occur? And so forth. The 5WH method is designed to elicit factual information that you need to have before making judgments about a particular event. When you have all the facts, you can then take appropriate action to prevent more problems from arising. The second step in asking questions is to think about what the inmate said or didn't say in the answer. Ask yourself, what did the inmate just tell me? Can I identify the content, feeling, and meaning? Did I get the information I need? Did the inmate give me a complete answer? Sometimes the inmate is unwilling to open up and may withhold some critical information or may simply not tell you the truth. You must judge the credibility of the answer based on how the inmate looks, on his or her body movements, and of course on what was said. Figuring out what the inmate said or didn't say will help you know how to proceed and will enable you to ask more focused questions. Then by responding to the answer, chances are the inmate will open up and tell you what you really need to know. Responding to the inmate's answers is the third step in this process. This means thinking about what you've heard and reflecting back to the inmate. This lets inmates know that you really do understand what they're saying. For instance, you ask an inmate what happened in the recreation area. You notice he looks down, shuffles his feet, and mumbles inaudibly. In response to the clues you ask, you seem pretty uncomfortable. Is it because you don't want people to see you talking to me? You'll be surprised at how such a response opens up an inmate. Continue to use the responding skills you learned in the last section and see the difference it makes in the answers inmates give you. Now let's hear some discussion from our panel about asking questions.
Asking questions, number one, when you begin to ask questions to an inmate, they get very defensive. Usually their past experience when being asked questions by the police or somebody in jail is usually not a positive experience. So the way you do ask the questions can be indicative of whether you're going to get a useful information or non-useful information. Using open-ended questions is really a valuable tool for trying to gain information from an inmate. The use of closed-ended questions that can be answered by a yes or no can immediately cut off any further communications with the inmates with a quick yes or no answer to you. Oftentimes when I ask inmates questions, a lot of times the answers that they give me are not exactly truthful. And if I pick up any indication that they're not being truthful through body language, facial expressions, or a change in their demeanor, they become uneasy, I may re-ask the question again, rephrasing it, putting additional information in that I already know to attempt to gain further information from the inmate.
When I feel an inmate is lying to me, I'll restate the question that I'm asking them and give them an opportunity to maybe come clean. And sometimes they don't get it right away, but I'll give them that extra shot. And if they choose to continue in that path, then I'll usually call them on it. When I'm asking questions of an inmate, I usually do it on a one-on-one basis. Not everybody can take questions in the same way. Maybe they're from a different background, maybe they're from a different culture, and I want to sort of gear my questioning toward that level, because if I were to come on aggressive with every single person, someone may cower, someone may totally clam up and not give me the answers I'm looking for. It's not always effective.
Now let's stop for a few moments to let you work with your instructor on asking questions.